Readers, lock your eyes on our target and listen as I read. I can get smarter from nonfiction text by talking and writing about it. Read with me. I can get smarter from nonfiction text by talking and writing about it. Let's look at what we've learned so far about when we read nonfiction text. We can see that when we read nonfiction text, we are getting smarter. We start by preparing for what we're reading, by thinking about what we already know and what we might learn in the book. By doing that, our new knowledge can stick to our old knowledge. We also slow down and we think about every page or every fact, especially the ones that are interesting to us, so that we can really understand what the author is saying. Today, we're learning something else we do as nonfiction readers to make us smart. Not only do we slow down and think, but we talk and write about what we've learned. Where do we write, Mrs. Norton? We could write in our writing books for reading. Remember how I took reading notes on the thunderstorm? Well, I can take reading notes on any book I want. I don't just have to use this when Mrs. Norton says to. I can use it anytime I want. It's mine. I can also talk about what I'm learning. I can talk to myself in my own mind. I can talk to a reading partner if it's an appropriate time to do that. Or I can even talk to my literacy buddy. My literacy buddy is a bear. So we can talk and we can write about the books we're reading, the nonfiction books we're reading, to learn more and to get smarter. Let me show you with my super amazing lizards book. Now, I've read a few pages of this book already and I've learned a lot of exciting things. Before I start reading again, I'm going to remember some of those things. In this book, I learned that there are many different kinds of lizards, hundreds of different kinds of lizards, and that they live all over the world. Some of them live in deserts, some of them live near water, some of them live in forests and jungles. And depending on where they live, they need different things. So their skin looks and feels different, and their colors are different. Some of them can even blend in with their environment. In fact, almost all of them do, so that they can stay safe from predators. They also eat bugs and plants. Different lizards eat different kinds. Remembering all that information is going to help me as I read today. I also think I'm going to learn more about where these lizards lived, because it seemed like that's what the author was going to say next. So I'm thinking about what I might learn. Notice how I slow down and think about my next pages. Some lizards, such as skinks, live in the ground. Okay, so this must be a skink, and I see that it lives in the ground. So that was a place I didn't know about, and I was right. The author kept talking about places where lizards live. Some lizards, such as tree monitors, that's a funny name, live in trees and shrubs. That's interesting. So I learned that, I'm talking to myself now, I learned that some lizards, like the skink, lives underground, and some lizards, like the tree monitors, live in trees and shrubs. Those are two really different types of lizards. So readers, that was something I would have said to myself in my own brain, even though I could have whispered it to my literacy buddy or to a reading partner if Mrs. Norton said that was okay. But I could also, and I'm going to, write it in my reading notes book. So this is where I last left off from my other page, and here's the date, 1/19/18, because that's the day I did this on. So I want to take some notes in my book about lizards. I'm learning about where different lizards live. lizards, like skinks. Did I spell that right? Skinks, yep. Skinks live in holes. I think that is really cool. Now, I could also write more, like about the tree monitors, but it's time for you to start reading. Readers, today, remember that when you read nonfiction text, you prepare for reading by thinking about what you already know and what you might learn in the book. You slow down and you think about each page. And when you're done, you talk or you write about what you're learning. You can use a reading partner if I've given you permission to do that. You can think in your own brain, or you can whisper it to your literacy buddy. You can even open up your reading notes book and you can write. Make sure that you always start with the date and that you don't leave big spaces. So always make sure you write the date right under your last entry. Readers, the last very important thing to note is to remember that you always use your own words. You don't copy the author. Very important. The reading workshop has begun.